Ho, ho, ho. Welcome to Working Crass Podcast. This is Lauren.
Hello.
And I'm Joshua. What's up? And the Christmas time is coming soon. Well, the holidays are coming soon.
Yeah.
You're not a Christmas lady. You're a Jewy lady.
I'm a Jewy lady, so we don't do the Christmas.
Yeah. What do you celebrate?
Hanukkah.
Kwanzaa or whatever?
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. Hanukkah.
It sounds very
Hanukkah.
Japanese when you say it that way.
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
I celebrate a Hanukkah, and then I perform seppuku. So we're gonna have children one day, and I grew up celebrating Christmas. You grew up celebrating Hanukkah. Like, what are our kids gonna do? No holidays. You don't get to celebrate.
You will fight for social justice.
Brats don't get a holiday.
Much too good for children.
Forget it, you little brat. We're gonna be evil parents. But no, what are they gonna? Well, I don't know what. I know Hanukkah's not like that big of a thing.
No, it's not.
Like people compare it to Christmas because Christmas is like a huge thing in Christian,
And it falls around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happened was in elementary schools, all the teachers were doing, Christmas parties, and then they realized, wait, we've got some Jewish students in here. What's your thing? And then they were like, oh, you get presents too? Oh, that's basically Christmas.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they celebrated Christmas, and then they realized they had students in their class that had allergies, and they were like, oh, we have Jews too. Oh, I forgot. I have a bunch of Jewish students. This is the first kid that said, my nose is running, and I need my ointment. Can you call my mother to get my ointment? And they're like, oh, yeah, we forgot to celebrate Hanukkah.
I'm allergic to tinsel.
We can't keep bringing these Christmas trees in here. I'm getting allergic.
Gingerbread makes me gassy.
The smell of pine trees makes me shrivel up. Makes my lungs hurt. No, do you have any like Hanukkah memories?
Well, the way my family kind of celebrated Hanukkah was when we were really little.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe up until like, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd grade, I think. My parents would do, kind of a gift a night, try and do that. They weren't like ostentatious gifts or anything, but after probably 3rd grade, it became more like you get one, like this is the gift that we splurged a little on for you, and the rest of your gifts are like practical, everyday use items. Like my mom would be like, day 1 you get a box of floss. Okay.
Now I asked, do you have any like favorite memories? I didn't ask like what did you get? I would get gifts, and then sometimes I get a big gift, sometimes I get a little lame gift, but mostly gifts and gifts for me. Like my favorite Christmas memory is because like the holidays are very stressful for families. They're spending money, and there's money that they might not necessarily have to get their kids what they want, and usually there's a lot of running around making sure that you get everything from the store. There's my mom is cooking, she's setting up the tree, she kind of does everything. My mom's a little like me, like we have to be the person to set everything up because if somebody else did it, they're going to do it wrong. We're the only one that could do it right? So she would set up the Christmas tree, and we couldn't help because we'd do it wrong. That's wrong. That looks ugly. Let me fix it. And one year she just got so overwhelmed with us just being brats and being bad, and she had a mug of coffee that she was holding, and I remember she stood up on her bed and threw the mug of coffee and jumped up and down and said, "That's it! Christmas is canceled!" And every single year, my family, my brother and my sister, Christmas is canceled is our catchphrase. Most of my family bonded over making fun of my mother around the Christmas table. Now, do you have any magical Hanukkah memories like that?
That's how like unimportant Hanukkah is as a holiday to Jews.
I see.
That there are really no.
What's the most important Jewish holiday?
Probably Yom Kippur.
And what
Rosh
is Yom?
Hashanah or Yom Kippur. They're kind of tied for most important.
Now I just hear gibberish. When you say this. It's mushy mushy or hushy macha. You know, one of our most is kippa kippa.
Moishi moishi and kippa kippa.
Our best holiday is Mickey Mickey Mookie. So what Yom Kippur? What is?
Well, Yom Kippur is the Day of Atonement.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
So there's a lot of whipping.
it's like it's basically a clean slate.
Mm.
It's a way for us to the entire year you've done all your sinning,
Mm-hmm.
and today is the day where you go, God, I'm sorry that I've been such a bad sinner. I'm gonna try better this year.
Mm.
And then you fast during the day, and then you sit down for a good meal at night, and then you start the rest of your year off.
Sinning.
Yeah, you get back to
You
sinning.
get right back on to sinning.
That's basically Yom Kippur.
Interesting. So it's like a clean slit, you said.
Yeah,
Like you clean your vagina and it's a clean slit.
yeah. You
Yom Kippur means clean slit. Well, that's interesting. So will our kids celebrate Yom Kippur?
Oh, yes.
Really? I'm learning this for the first time. And our children will have to clean their slits.
Yes.
No, so
Today is your.
now they're going to be our children, so they will have no sins to be forgiven.
No, they'll be perfect in every
Our children
way.
will be perfect. In every way. There's no way in hell.
Their sins are, I love too hard.
Now, were you ever jealous of kids that did celebrate Christmas?
Not really.
What about your brother?
My brother probably.
Yeah.
My brother maybe, yeah.
Does he like Christmas?
Yeah, probably. My brother would watch a lot of Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
He did really like that Christmas Story movie, the one
Oh.
with Ralphie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there's not very many other than like Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights. There's not a lot of good like Hanukkah movies either. But it's a false equivalency to compare Hanukkah and Christmas because it's
Yeah.
like they're not taken the same way. But
Yeah,
it's
Hanukkah is like,
literally Christians that think Hanukkah is your Christmas. It's like Christians that are like, well, you got to have a Christmas. Like when you and I first started dating and everything, and my parents got to know you, they learned that you were Jewish, and my mom's first question goes, Does she celebrate Christmas? Wait, what? She doesn't celebrate Christmas?
No, we celebrate the miracle of oil lasting 8 days. 7 days longer than we thought it would.
She doesn't celebrate Christmas. There's no Mr. Hanky the Hanukkah poo
No.
or the Yom Kippur poo.
No.
It's hard to say.
No.
The Yom Kippur poo.
No. No Yom Kippur poo.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, it's a magical time. I say it's a magical, beautiful time, and I hope that throughout our lives together, I get to show you what the magic of Christmas is like, and I hope that throughout our lives together, you get to keep your Hanukkah holidays to yourself and buried deep down, and we don't talk about them, and we keep them to the side, and we celebrate the big Christian holidays, and it's a blast.
And when do you do the wishes?
There are no wishes.
The Christmas wishes.
No, a Christmas wish is just because that time of the year is supposed to be kind of like a magical time of the year. So if you make a wish around that time, it might be more likely to come true because that's your Christmas wish.
But there's like a magi who comes and he grants your wishes.
No, you stupid idiot, you dumb Jew. No, there's no wishes. I wish, my Christmas wish is that everyone would celebrate Christmas like a normal person. My Christmas wish is that these Jews would get in line and start celebrating Christmas. Is all the Jewish boys and girls get to put down their Hanukkah for one day and celebrate a real holiday. Now,
But I did
you ever have the urge to tell other kids at school that Santa Claus isn't real?
well, funny. Well, I don't know if I ever told them that it wasn't real, but I did. This was in elementary school. We had like a creative writing assignment where we had to write like I forget what the parameters were, but it was holiday themed. And I wrote a story about Santa getting trapped in a chimney. And so he died there, and then Christmas was
You wrote a
over.
song about Santa dying?
Not a song, it was a story.
A story, I mean. Well, a song would be
He
pretty
got trapped
good.
in a chimney and he died, and then
Santa got trapped in a chimney because his gut was way, way, way too big.
I did.
Now, Christmas music, too. We were listening to a lot of Christmas music yesterday. Way more beautiful, great Christmas songs than there are Hanukkah songs. But to be fair, all of the Christmas songs were produced by Jewish producers.
That is true. And
so they're all really Hanukkah songs.
And I did say, and all Hanukkah songs are way funnier than all Christmas songs.
That must be true. But what is a Hanukkah song?
The one that Adam Sandler sings.
those are complete. Those are canon.
Get on your yarmulke.
Are there people in temple just singing that hand in hand? They love the yarmulke song.
I remember our synagogue one year tried to do a parody version of the 12 Days of Christmas, but it was the 12 Days of Hanukkah.
Oh
even
my
though
God.
It's 8 days of Hanukkah.
Yeah, so the song ends early. Oh man. Well, that's funny. That's really funny.
Then it's like 8 Pepto-Bismols. 'Cause my tummy hurts.
7 tubes of Bengay.
6 little latkes. 4 spinning dreidels.
5 golden coins.
2 tax returns.
You really don't know how this song works.
No.
That is definitely a Jew doing a parody of Christmas songs. 5 is where that melody comes. Each number has its own melody. It's okay. I don't have to explain to this Jew our magical goy songs.
you guys, you're so funny.
Hey, you Jews produce the songs, so
you're welcome.
you're welcome for your beautiful Christmas songs. Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but one of the best Christmas songs and one of the best Christmas movies is The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I used to read to my students when I was teaching elementary school, the storybook, and I used to have it because I would read, I had 7 periods a day, like 7 classes a day.
Okay.
Where they would come to music class. This had nothing to do with music, by the way. I just gave up at a certain point teaching. I was like, you're not learning anything. I've given up on the idea that I could teach any of these kids anything. So
that's the American education system.
if you ever had a teacher that played a movie in class, or a TV show in class,
oh yeah,
everyone had that. What that means in teacher talk is that they've given up on the idea that you can learn anything, and so they go, I'm gonna sit here and read my book, and you're gonna watch a movie. I'm gonna sit here and check my phone. I used to bring a Nintendo DS and play Mario Kart while I showed kids movies that had nothing to do with music. Because I just, they weren't learning anything. The whole system is set up to fail. Anyway, I used to have completely memorized The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, the storybook, because I read it 7 times a day, every day of the week, and for 2 weeks. So, and I'd have a different class every single day. So, I read it so many times to new kids, and I had to, I really like to, get into the story so it would surprise them in certain points. Anyway, know the whole thing by heart. But then you found this article from Jezebel.
Yeah, I found this on Jezebel, although it is about a year old. But the title it made me laugh. And I don't know if this is satire or if this is, how somebody really feels about.
Because isn't some things on Jezebel satire?
I don't know.
Sex, celebrity, politics with teeth.
Usually,
it's just snark.
Yes, there's a lot of snark.
There's a whole lot of snark.
There's a lot of snark on Jezebel. And a lot of their titles do read like it's going to be a satire piece, but then they're 100% serious.
Like this one. Excuse me, but "You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch" crosses the line. Leave this green bachelor in peace for just one moment. Now, this is my favorite kind of activism piece, is one that's in defense of a fictional character. Like people who argue that fiction needs to change because it's offensive. You know, a fake story that's not true, that's about no one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Christmas ain't canceled, but the Grinch song is.
The 1966 Christmas special, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, is a beloved holiday classic that endures in spite of the remakes, some of which were great and others abysmal. In the cartoon version narrated by Boris Karloff, there's a song about the Grinch that is meant to serve as an explanation for his thwarted attempt at stealing Christmas from the Who's of Whoville. The Grinch's entire vibe is that he hates Christmas, but I don't think that he ever specifies why. My operating theory is that, like me, the Grinch detests saccharine sincerity of the sort that is common around the holiday season, and he also wants to mostly be left alone. Yeah, that's a lot of guessing as to why the Grinch hates Christmas. If it's like me, he just hates the sincerity of the sort that's common around the holiday season.
If he's like me, then his heart is also 3 sizes too small.
Well, if the Grinch is like me, then he's a non-binary activist. Who plays an integral role in Antifa and all of its protests across the nation.
If he's like me, then the Grinch wants to decolonize Whoville.
Anyway, let's see here. Though I never really thought about the lyrics of this song until this past week, a close read reveals that they're unnecessarily brutal and quite rude to this biped who simply wants to live in his cabin on that big mountain with his dog, alone with his own complicated feelings on perpetual bachelorhood and a life lived in chosen solitude. Let's take a gander. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
Racist. Just kidding.
What they're actually talking about here is the black community. Already the first verse feels like overkill. Some people don't like hugs, but that doesn't mean that they're rotten bananas. Perhaps his love language is acts of service. We'll never know. What's upsetting about this lyric is just the opening. The 5 verses that follow prod the Grinch. This is journalism? Why do people go to school to learn how to do this? This is bad. This is so fucking bad. It's almost like the lyrics to "You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch"
are mean.
They're kind of mean to the Grinch guy.
I like that this person's takeaway from the story of the Grinch is the good one.
Yeah, the Grinch. Why are we so mean to the Grinch?
He just tried to steal a holiday from, just regular people minding their own business and having a good time.
He's just a curmudgeon that lives alone on a hill. He's social distancing. Leave him alone.
And breaks into people's houses and steals their stuff.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I like him. He's a good guy. He stays in his house all day and doesn't like to associate with people. What's wrong with that?
He doesn't go to the town square and hold hands with everybody and sing their stupid songs.
He's basically a Jezebel author. You're a rotter, Mr. Grinch. You're the king of sinful sots. Your heart's a dead tomato splotched with moldy purple spots, Mr. Grinch. Anyway. There's not much out there about the Grinch's interior life. We do know that at one point he was a baby, and that presumably some incidents in childhood might have led him to be the shit-stirring little grump that he is today. However, I don't think that this relentless roast of a man who's inevitably takes action against the town of apple-cheeked villagers who haven't taken the time to know him is deserved. Right now, life sort of sucks. In the spirit of the holiday season, let's be kind to the gals and pals around us, even if it feels disingenuous or otherwise out of character. Even the Grinch doesn't deserve this smoke. It's like, it's a story. It's a fictional story. This has to be satire. This has to be a satire.
It feels like it's satire, but it's also Jezebel, where inclined
really
to say
cannot tell.
this is somebody being serious.
Yeah. Or that, everyone will be like, it's satire after you like make fun of it. But then there will be people that are like, finally someone said this. And they're like, yeah, you're right. Thank you. Thank you for finally saying this.
Oh, you think behind the scenes in Jezebel, they're like, what is the craziest shit we could say that nobody will take this seriously? And then they're like, nope, our audience always takes it seriously, and it gets us so many clicks.
No, I think half the people that work at Jezebel are like, this is serious. I mean this. I'm proud of you for writing this, because it's about time that we start to just be a little nicer. There is some stuff in here that is a little bit like, it's time that we be a little nicer. Do we really have to be mean? It's time to be nice. It's mommying people, But then there's also, half the people at Jezebel. It's like, yeah, it's satire. This is just a joke. It's not a big deal. But then underground, for the activists, they're like, this isn't satire.
You think the serious ones hired the satirists, not realizing they were satirists, and then the satirists were like, oh, I thought this place was just like a joke.
I thought we were bullshitting.
Wait, we're not?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, how much of, and this, like, how much of academia is just like bullshit stuff that like people are like reading way too much into?
Well, it depends on your department and your field, right? So if you are, because I think things that hard sciences and certain social sciences that take approaches that tend to be more rigorous, or they have to follow like the scientific method in order to produce their research. I think those things still have some integrity to them, but things that are in like the critical studies departments, which is all like your gender theory, that kind of stuff, where a lot of the research is just like, it all boils down to, well, it's based on your lived experience, so I think, therefore I am. Yeah. So this is, because I said it, it must be true.
Let's dissect the intersectional politics of Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
And then they're like, that's a study.
But then they have people who, because there's no sort of like objective measure to any of these kinds of studies, and you can't really, you can't do quality control on them in any sort of way. And so it's just a bunch of people who, are drinking their own farts. They're high on their own farts.
Yeah, they're like, that actually is very interesting. I haven't thought about Charlie Brown through that filter, through that lens yet. Well, that's my favorite thing, is when the scholars will describe it as like, you have to look at it through this lens. You have to look at it through a lens. It's like, it's so weird. It's like, you can't look at things for what they really are. You need to look at them through my interpretation.
And my interpretation is the correct interpretation, because I said it was correct.
Exactly.
That's how I know it's correct, because I said it. Because I feel it's my truth that it's correct.
That is, I mean, there's literally teachers out there that are like, no, I need to teach everyone that the world and everything around it has to be taught through the lens of a power struggle between, two groups or whatever.
Yes, that's all critical studies is all about, power dynamics.
Yeah.
And you just choose whatever things that you want to see the interplay.
But why is that allowed to just go on like as though it's the truth, as though it's like the verifiable truth, when clearly the objective of it is saying that you're looking at reality through a lens where everything is operating under one assumption, and the assumption is just true, just inherently true. Because that every single action of all time was taken. Isn't that like a generalizing statement? Isn't that easy to say, no, that's kind of wrong. You can't say that everything falls under this lens because, people are different. Everyone's different. Everyone has different motivations for every action that they've ever taken. And you can't say that everything that ever happened through history was as a means to obtain power.
Well, they would argue, yes, you can.
Yes, you can, and you're only arguing that because you want to obtain power over me.
Yeah. But what happens is the person who's writing the, Charlie Brown is an allegory for colonization paper, takes it to their critical studies conference, and then everybody there is like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever read, and they all like cream their jeans, and then they jerk each other off, and then next thing you know, that person is now teaching a course at Stanford all about the colonization themes of Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
And then because the students who are
And
taking
they're a
those
published
courses,
author. They've written, Brown Fragility, and everybody's reading it on subways, and they're like, "Oh, very interesting."
very interesting. And then
Yeah.
all your like improviser friends believe that it's like the truth of the world, and they're like, we you have to read this in order to do improv.
You have to read Brown Fragility. It's all about Charlie Brown and his white privilege.
but what happens is that person
Brown
starts.
Fragility.
That person starts.
Could that be the name of the episode? We might get taken off YouTube if we call it Brown Fragility. Oh man.
But what happens is that that guy starts teaching that class, and then
Yeah.
the students, particularly undergrad students who have not had enough, exposure during their college time to know that they can, think for themselves, they just like will take everything that teacher says as the truth,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't question anything, and then they start to regurgitate it to their friends
Yeah.
and family and so on and so forth, and then they start making TikToks about it,
Mm-hmm.
and so then it becomes like the cultural zeitgeist
Yeah, definitely.
when it's
it
really
always
just like it's a theory that one person presented, and it might be interesting, but it might not be
what the intention of the thing was.
the intention of the thing, or it might not actually explain anything at all.
Yeah.
It's just one guy's possible interpretation out of many possibilities that exist.
It always makes me think of this always makes me think of that South Park. I wish like every like student that ever is in any kind of critical study should have to watch the South Park, the poop that took a pee, the like story that they read where the whole purpose is the boys just think it's funny to
Is
make
this
it
the
as
Scrody McBooger balls?
yeah, Scrody McBooger balls, yeah. And it's just funny to have a dirty, crazy, poopy, story because it makes them laugh.
Yep.
And then of course everyone buys it and they're like, "No, it's actually like a commentary on like our cultural divide and blah blah blah." And everyone takes it way too seriously. And even the author themselves can be like, "No, I meant it's poo-poo and doo-doo and it's funny." And everyone's like, "No, I think I know how to interpret it correctly." It's very strange how the ego it takes to say, "I'm the correct interpretation of this fictional piece of art."
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that was us probably going way too deep into what might just be a satirical piece on Jezebel. This Megan Reynolds, who wrote this, might be sitting there listening to Working Crass podcast going, "Guys, it's a joke." And here we are talking about academia and the problems with academia. So guys, I don't mean that you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch is mean. Clearly that's a joke. And maybe it is. And if it is a joke, we'd love to have you on Working Crass podcast, Megan Reynolds. We'd love to interview you. We do guests sometimes now.
We'd love to interview you. We'd love to have you write our material for us.
I'd love to have you come on the podcast and tell us what else is problematic. Speaking of the podcast, you can find every episode of Working Crass Podcast for free on YouTube. And we are at Working Crass Pod on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Feel free to send us a DM on Instagram. We'll respond to it. You can talk to us directly because we're a nobody podcast right now. So, we need as many connections as possible. But if you like the podcast, best way to support it is to subscribe on YouTube. So go ahead and subscribe right now. Hit that notification bell and check out our episode. Now, we thought it would be fun to do a personality test. Lauren, you found this personality test called the Cube. Is that right?
It's called the Field, the Cube.
The Cube personality
Yeah.
test.
The cube, the horse, the ladder, the flower.
And so this is going to reveal something about ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, I'm kind of struggling here. I don't know if I should do this sarcastically or if I should really do this. I'm going to try to take it seriously and see what we find out about. So the Cube personality test.
Mm-hmm.
It's important that you describe whatever comes to your mind first for each question. I also recommend writing your answers down so it's easier to figure out your results at the end. We have some pens, we have some paper here, so we'll be able to write this stuff down as we go.
Okay.
Cool. Let's
And this thing is like a thought exercise. It's going to ask you to like envision
a thought exercise.
Yeah.
Like an exercise so I can be a thought?
Yeah.
Cool. It's such an easy joke now. Everybody makes the same joke anytime someone says the word thought. Okay, continue. What were you saying?
But it's going to ask you to like visualize certain things.
So I have to use my imagination?
Yeah, I know that here on Working Crass, we don't really believe in the power of imagination, but we're
We're
going to
literal-minded people.
We're very
Lauren and I are very literal-minded people.
We are the most literal-minded people. And so this will be difficult for us. But after we do this imagining, it's going to then explain to us what our visualizations mean. It's going to reveal some deep truths about us.
Okay.
Like that we're bullies. This is to prove, once and for all, to prove that we either are or are not bullies. It's like, Frank Reynolds gets the diploma that says he doesn't have donkey brains.
Yes. Certifiably does not have donkey brains.
This is we don't have donkey brains, or we're not bullies, and we can prove it to any of the...
and we're not going to diddle your kids.
And we're not going to diddle your kids.
We're not diddlers.
We're not diddlers, we're not donkey brains, and we're not bullies. And we'll...
we're not little kid diddlers.
So anytime something gets taken down, we'll have this as proof of who we are.
Let's find out who we are here. Number one is think of an open field. How big is this field? What is it filled with? What are the surroundings like?
Okay.
What do you think?
What do I think about my field?
Yes.
My field... Well, should I write it down? Should we tell each other? Or should we wait till after to...
We're going to sit here on a podcast and write in silence?
I think that would make for a great podcast. Everybody loves to just hear 30
just
minutes of a pen.
Wait, stop laughing. We're trying to get to the podcast. Listen. Don't laugh, Lauren. It's a very serious podcast. No, for me, how big is the field? My thing is it goes out until the horizon. It's as big as I can visually see. If I'm thinking of an open field, it is open. It is as far as the eyes can see. What is it filled with? Tall grass. I think of tall, like kind of tan, like dying grass.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes out to the horizon. And what are the surroundings like? I can't really see the surroundings because they're far off, but maybe some trees. It goes off into the forest. So like a wooded area.
Okay, well, I said that my field is also very vast, and it's so vast that I can't even see the ends of my field. I don't know where it ends. I don't know where it begins. It's just immense. I said my field is filled with unfinished art installations. Like just sculptures that somebody started but then just walked away from and was like, I'll get back to it at some point.
Okay.
And then I said the surroundings are, I wrote down lots of vines, overgrowth, kind of like in My Neighbor Totoro when they go down through like the little the secret entryway into the Totoro's like gigantic forest where there's like all the vines and everything's like growing over. So I imagine like the field is lots of overgrowth and vines crawling on these unfinished art installations.
So when we finish this, is it going to be like, if you answered the movie Totoro, My Neighbor Totoro,
it's going to say,
you might be a redneck.
It's going to say, your mom got you a lot of movies for free from the library.
Now, the next step here is think of a cube. How big is the cube? What is it made of? And what is the surface like? What color is it? Where in the field is it? Where is the cube? Is it on the ground? Is it floating? Is it transparent? If so, can you see inside? So for me, I would say it's a cardboard cube that I immediately think of. And it is, I would say, pretty standard size, like that you could hold in your hands. Trying to think of like what that would look like. Maybe I don't know, just a cube that is easy to pick up, like a pillow cube, you know, like a My Pillow.
Your cube is a My Pillow.
My cube is a My Pillow.
Your cube is sponsored by Mike Lindell.
But I'm basically thinking of like a standard cardboard box that would fit any kind of like standard object, no bigger than like my head, head size. I'll say head size.
Head size.
It's on the floor. And it's in the exact center of the field. So if you told me to think of something, a space, and then you tell me to place an object in it, I'm always going to go straight for the center of that thing. So it's on the floor and it's in the center.
Ah. Okay.
What about you?
I said that my cube it's the size of a tissue box.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty small, like.
It's so small.
It's just like small, handheld, size of the tissue box. I said that my cube is chrome, and
Quome, like Cuomo.
Did I say that like Elmer Fudd?
My cube is chrome.
My cube is wabbit season.
So okay, chrome. Shiny. Yeah.
Shiny. It's reflective. I kind of envision it like almost like a solid like cube of pyrite.
Yeah. You
know what I'm talking about?
I almost thought of that too. Yeah.
I used to go to like some of those like Earthbound stores, and they have like those bins with little like polished rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
I love the polished
I like
pyrite stuff.
And you put your hands all deep in it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And then they also had magnets too, the magnet rocks and stuff that would all like stick to each other. And you put your hand all in those.
You put your hands in magnet rocks?
Oh yeah. And
I think we're learning something about us right now.
And as you would feel around in there, you feel like the what came off of the other little kids' hands that just boogers and like Band-Aid juice,
Mm-hmm. But I said that my cube is off to the side. It's on the left side of my field, and it's under the shade of one of my unfinished art installations.
Interesting. Okay. Now, the next thing here is going to be think of a ladder, okay? How long is this ladder? Where is it located in your field? And what's the distance between the ladder and the cube? So I immediately thought of a ladder going directly upward, right? And it's in front of the cube. It's between where I'm looking at the field and the cube itself. So the cube is now behind it, with its center and front. Front and center.
Front and center. Got a front and center ladder.
My ladder, here's 3 easy ways to describe my ladder. Front, center, erect.
Fully erect. Engorged.
Throbbing.
Tumescent.
Let's figure out about my personality from this. Think of a ladder. Well, my ladder is
how stiff is your ladder?
So hard and throbbing and big. And dripping. All right. What about your ladder?
I said my ladder is a step stool.
It's delicate.
I said
my ladder's delicate.
My ladder's delicate. I said it's a step stool, and it's on the opposite side of my cube. It's off to the opposite side, and it's propped up against one of the art installations on the other side.
I see. Well, it's a step stool, so it doesn't get propped up against anything. It just sits on the ground.
No, it's like it's a wonky step stool. It's got like one leg that's shorter than the other. So
it does have to lean.
It has to lean. This is gonna tell me.
Yeah, it's like if you can't tell the difference. If you said step stool, you did the assignment wrong. Please go back and start again. All right, here we go. Think of a horse. Now this one's fun. What color is the horse? What is the horse doing? And where is it in relation to your cube? My horse is always a brown horse when I think of one, but a light brown, like a light brown horse. And it is eating grass. Do horses eat grass, or is that just a cow thing?
I think
horses graze?
Horses eat hay.
Well, mine's eating grass. And where is it in relation to my cube? It is actually to the left of the cube. If I'm looking directly at it, if it's looking at me, it's on the right of the cube. Go ahead.
I said my horse is magenta.
And that's its name or the color?
That both.
My horse is a rainbow. My horse is a rainbow color. It's all different colors. My horse is a My Little Pony.
My horse shoots glitter out its asshole. This is literally gonna tell me. Like
my horse shits pyrite. My horse shits chrome cubes. That's where the cube came from. My horse.
I'm pretty sure this is literally going to tell me you have donkey brains.
You're going to get a certificate of donkey brains?
You did not pass. You do, in fact, have donkey brains. But I said magenta, and my horse is resting behind the cube. It's taking a little snoozy poo behind the cube.
That's sweet. That's very sweet. You have a very whimsical mind, and I have a very simple, straightforward mind. Analytical, almost.
I'm like, I live in a Wes Anderson movie in my mind. I hope this tells me I'm Amelie at the end.
Think of flowers. Where are the flowers in your field, and how many are there? For me, the flowers actually frame the field in my vision, almost like a Rococo painting, where there's just like, there's just flowers, decorative flowers around the entire frame of the image that you're looking at.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'd say Rococo, plenty of flowers framing the field itself.
That's really nice. That's like tasteful.
Well, and I think this comes with like my artist designer drawer mind, where I'm picturing how would it look pretty or whatever. Yeah. And yours is like my magical land. I'm making my own magical world.
Well, you thought what would be the most aesthetically pleasing design for where your flower should go, and
you're like, mine's shitting the box out of its ass.
I wrote down scattered like confetti,
like diarrhea.
Of an endless flow of diarrhea flowers. That's what mine are, an endless flow of diarrhea flowers. I hope that tells me something important.
Interesting.
It's like, you need to tell your parents you love them more.
Now, think of what the weather in the field is like. Is it raining, sunny? Is your field foggy? Now, here's the thing, is I'm trying really hard to go with my very first thing that I thought, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying not to change it at all. So it is sunny. But as soon as it asks, what's the weather? These are all things that I don't think about when it asks me to think of a field, right? I don't think about the weather immediately, but I guess my brain did fill in a bright, sunny day. There's clouds in the sky, but, it's mostly blue with the bright sun. What about you?
I said gray, but not raining. So it's kind of one of those cloudy kind of days, but it's not a bad kind of ominous cloudy. It's just kind of cloudy.
Okay.
Cloudy, grayish day. I like the tones of grayish.
I do too.
Grayish days.
I like a London day, a London rainy day where things are dark.
Yeah, I kind of envision mine like a watercolor painting. When you get all the colors kind of blended together, and so it comes out a little bit grayish or muddy looking.
Yeah,
that's kind of what my sky looks like.
Definitely. And number 7, think of a storm. What is the distance between the storm and the cube? Is it a big storm? Is it just passing through? So as soon as you say storm, for me, it takes up the entire sky. The sky is going to go from sunny to dark and cloudy. And it's passing over us from the farthest side, from the horizon, all the way, and it's going to go over my head.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What about you?
I said that the storm it's out in the distance, it's already passed over us.
Oh, so yours is going the opposite direction. Yours is going away. Mine's coming towards.
Yeah. Yeah, I said mine's passed. You know what that means?
Well, I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. I guess we're going to have to find out what that means. So coming towards me.
This is all going to be you might be queer.
That's funny. The end of this is we're trans. They're like
You might not be
immediately
satisfied with your gender.
they have a list of like gender affirming care facilities.
Yeah. Okay, so
ho-
now let's get to interpreting.
Oh, that's what I've been waiting for here. Now that you have a clear picture of your field and everything in it, it's time to see what it says about who you are. Below, you'll find sections corresponding to each element in your vision. Scan the tables for your answers. If none of the options below feel quite right, choose the closest match.
Okay.
So, first, we have the field. The field represents your mind. Its size is the representation of your knowledge of the world and how vast your personality is. The condition of the field is what your personality looks like at first glance. So first I'm going to take that as its size is the representation of your knowledge of the world. And what did you say for size?
I said vast, and you can't see the ends.
Same here. I said it goes as far. I can't even see how far it goes. So it must mean that we think that we know
We think we know a lot.
everything. And so far, accurate.
So far, we don't have donkey brains.
Now, as far as the condition of the field, dry and dead means you're feeling pessimistic. I did say that it's tall grass, but it's all like dying color. It's like a tan, like dying field.
You
so
might be a little pessimistic.
mine was a little dry, although, it was fully grassy and healthy. Green would be feeling optimistic. I didn't really say green and healthy. Well trimmed would be you're analytical and cautious. What did you say?
Well, I said mine was all like the overgrowth, like my neighbor Totoro.
Well, that's grassy and healthy. You're feeling optimistic.
But it's definitely not well trimmed.
No, no. You're not analytical and cautious. You're just
I'm
optimistic.
a wild woman. That's what that told me. I take risks.
Wait, is this going to have me vote and then I have to do a thing at the end?
Oh, I don't know. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that portion?
Voting? Psh, don't do that.
Okay. The whole thing, we do this whole podcast and the end is like, we can't tell you because you didn't do any of the answers. The cube. The cube represents you. The size of the cube is your ego. Wow.
Whoa.
We both picked pretty small cubes. We didn't say huge like cube at all. Neither of us did.
Look, we think we know a lot of things, but it's not because we have big egos.
I even said that my box is the size of my head. So that's pretty perfect. My ego is the size of my own head, and that's about it. I got a big head, but the surface of the cube represents what is visibly observable about your personality, or maybe it is what you want others to think about you. The texture of the cube represents your nature. So, for example,
Smooth, rough, bumpy. Okay.
Oh, see, I didn't even say. Although I guess I gave it a tight. I said cardboard. So mine would be rough.
Yeah.
You're more straightforward. You tend to be honest in everything you say, no matter how it might affect the person you're talking to. Is that accurate for me?
I would say it's pretty accurate for Josh.
Sometimes I'm a little mean. And yours is smooth, right?
Yeah,
yours is
I
like
said mine is
chrome.
A chrome reflective cube. So that's smooth.
You're a gentle person who takes care not to hurt others or make them feel uncomfortable. Although I would say that maybe you meant to say a bumpy or spiky chrome because you do have a tendency to criticize others in an attempt to make them feel inferior to you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention the spikes coming out of
I forgot to talk about the spikes. No, so that's interesting. So far, somewhat accurate. Okay.
But it said the texture or whatever your cube is made of is what is visibly perceptible about your personality.
The surface of the cube.
So what does it mean that I chose something that's reflective?
It
so
means
people see themselves.
When people look at you, they see themselves.
I'm a mystery.
It means that when vampires look at you, they can't see you.
Good.
The color of the cube is a more in-depth analysis of yourself. Each color can represent an emotion or an entire personality altogether.
All right, I better have chrome on here.
I know. I mean, would you say that maybe gray is more of like a chrome color? Like the most, because none of these are reflective. And also mine is brown because it's a brown cardboard box, not listed in here at all.
Yeah.
So, but let's say yours is gray. That would make you self-confident, independent, and not easily rattled. And I'd say that's pretty accurate.
Well, I don't know about easily rattled. I jump
Yeah.
at the slightest of noises.
You are easily rattled. That's true. That's very true.
It doesn't take a lot to spook me.
Here's some other things. So, yours was made out of a metal or rock. It indicates that you have solid integrity. Your personality is so strong that it cannot be bent or influenced by any external force. You are dominant and consistent.
That's right. You can call me a bully all you want, but I'm not backing down.
Well, you are very independent-minded. And you're not easily influenced by like groupthink or like other people. So I think that that's pretty accurate. Mine was hollow because it was a box.
Yeah.
A hollow cube means that you're primarily concerned with your outside appearance with far less care. And here I am like adjusting my clothes and my hair as we do our podcast. With far less care about what's going on within. However, this does not mean that you have nothing to offer on the inside. Yeah, this is me to a T. When are they going to tell my wife that I'm gay?
I've been waiting for it.
The ladder. The ladder represents two different aspects of your life, your goals and your friendships. First, let's look at what the ladder says.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Let's look at what the ladder says about your goals. So my ladder was like almost in front of me. It was in front of the cube. It was very close in proximity to me.
Yeah. I said mine was the step stool on the opposite side of my cube.
Okay. So and also I said my ladder was erect and tall, right? So
throbbing.
So for me, mine was near and long. So my goals are more far-fetched and difficult to attain. So that makes sense to me. And I'm putting maximum effort and focus into achieving my goals. I wouldn't necessarily say that's true, but I don't think anybody thinks that they are putting maximum effort in, even if they are. Yours was short because it was a step stool.
Yeah.
It says your goals are realistic and simple. Now, would you say that that's
I've been
accurate?
telling Josh this for a long time, that my goals are realistic. And he keeps saying, no, no, no.
We were just talking about goals yesterday. And you're like, and I'm like, what is your goal? And you're like, to start a comedy club, and it becomes the most successful comedy club in the world.
And I make a lot of money, and everybody loves me, and I become voted the most beautiful woman of all time.
You know, realistic and simple goals. And then would you describe yours as near or far? Yours was far, right? It was on the other side of the cube.
Yeah.
So you aren't putting much thought or effort into achieving your goals.
Well.
Now, I would argue that neither of these things are true of Lauren, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. If I feel like I do have some lofty. I have a mix of both. I have things that I know are very lofty, but I also have things that are more realistic, that are more short-term related.
Now, how do we know this isn't all just horseshit?
It is all horseshit. That's all personality quizzes. That's why I was like, this is tailor-made for working Crass. 'Cause it's horseshit.
Because it's horseshit?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are right. I should have known right away that this was horseshit, as it's like, all right, here's a personality test. Think of a horse. We want to tell you all about your personality. Think of flowers. Now,
Now, what's that horse's shit look like? What's the thick? Wait, it's all supposed to tell us about our friends too. The ladder is about our friends. Right?
Oh, that's right. Okay,
yeah. It's our goals and our friendships.
So this is its proximity to the cube. Okay, so mine was. I mean, it was close. It was close to the cube. If your ladder's near the cube, you're very close with your friends. If it's actually leaning on the cube, mine was not, it means your friends can lean on you for support. They absolutely cannot. And that is why I said that. Also, my ladder was strong. It was erect, and I described it as throbbing. So the stronger the material, the stronger the bond. So I guess I have a strong bond with my friends, my one or two friends that I have.
Well, my ladder was on the opposite side of my cube.
So it was far. Oh, wait. But was it close to your cube?
Well, I'm going to say if I said it was on the opposite side of the cube, that's kind of far away.
Okay.
So I apparently have a hard time opening up to people and letting them get close to you.
Interesting. To me?
Yeah, to you. I'm like, get your hands away from my man.
Okay.
Actually, I do think that's accurate for me.
What? Really? You've never been a like jealous person, as far as I could tell. But
Oh
I'll-
no, not the get your paws off my
Oh,
man.
oh. Well, you did say get your paws off my man. I do think that's accurate for me.
No, I meant in relation to the hard time opening up to people.
I see.
Yeah, because it takes me a while. Like I'm a little skittish at first. It definitely takes me, like I have to get to know you and then determine whether or not I want you in my circle. I'm kind of choosy about who I let in.
Definitely. I understand that. And then was your ladder strong or weak?
I don't know. Is a step stool strong or is a step? Well, I also said it had one wonky leg.
Yeah, it's weak. It's weak. A weak ladder indicates a weak bond between you and those around you. Good to know. We're kind of opposites in this. The horse represents your ideal partner. It could be playing, running around, or grazing right next to your cube or clear across the field. So I said grazing in the grass, right? You said sleeping. So we're both kind of the same on this one. Your ideal partner is calm and fully committed to you. Aww, that's nice. And maybe one day we'll find them. The horse's color.
He's out there. I know he's out there.
Now, the horse's color, you could pick brown, black, or white. Or if you're Lauren, you could have picked a magenta horse. But I picked a brown horse. I said you prize comfort and reliability above all else. Otherwise, you don't have a specific set of expectations for your partner. Absolutely correct. Although I would have gone with black. Your partner is dominant, seductive, and sophisticated. I would have liked that one, but we get what we can get.
Yeah, you get somebody who's certified donkey brains.
Sometimes you get a magenta horse.
Oh well.
Anyway, if your horse is a completely different color than the ones listed above, it means you value originality and independence in a partner. Wow. You want to be with someone who fascinates and challenges you. Wow, that's interesting. Well,
yeah.
I guess
you definitely challenge me.
Now, where did you say it was in relation to the cube?
I said, what did I say? Resting behind the cube.
Okay, so it's very near the cube, right?
Mm-hmm.
It indicates that you prefer relationships where you spend most of your time with your partner. If the horse is a bit further away from the cube, it indicates a need for a partner who will understand and accommodate your desire for alone time. Now, I did say that my horse was kind of far away from that cube, and you did say yours was near the cube. This makes sense. You know what? We did say that these personality tests are bullshit. This one might be a little accurate. The flowers. The flowers represent your family and friends. The number of flowers reflects your popularity, and their location indicates how close you are with your social groups. So I did say that's like a Rococo painting where they're all over the place. They border the entire image.
Yeah.
So my whole thing was they're everywhere. It says you're a social butterfly with
your friends and family surround you.
Yeah, with family and friends too numerous to count, you'll never be lonely.
Well,
wow.
no wonder you want your horse away from your cube. You need alone time.
I know. I got too much flowers, fucking flowers all over the place.
I said mine were scattered like confetti.
Yeah. Did you think of a lot of them or just a few of them?
Well, I
When you
said like
pictured it?
confetti, like it.
But you could, but you could have a little thing of confetti that's just kind of splurted in an area, or you could have them like a bunch of confetti everywhere.
I'm thinking a bunch.
Okay. So you're also a social butterfly. Not.
No.
Not.
Not at all.
Well, weather condition.
Oh.
The weather in your field reflects your general outlook on life. There's a reason we have expressions like, when it rains, it pours. So for me, I said sunlight. You're optimistic and carefree. Bullshit.
But at the same time, you're also pessimistic, according to the very first
that's
answer
right.
about the state of your field.
That's right. That's correct. I mean, I am both pessimistic and optimistic and carefree, but I'm also pessimistic and stressed. Now, what did you say? You said cloudy.
Yeah. I just said clouds.
So that could be fog. You feel uncertainty in life and maybe struggling with your identity, and you might be a man, and you might have to have gender affirming care.
And I did see a magenta horse, so
you might be transsexual.
At the end of this, it's going to say, you should be doing drag queen story hour for children.
We've run your personality test results, and it turns out you're Jeff Foxworthy.
That's what you are.
Yeah, about me, Jeff Foxworthy. The strength and position of the storm reflects the stress you're feeling in life. As you probably guessed, the stronger the storm and the closer the cube, the higher your stress level. If you imagine a storm raging right above your cube, it might be a good idea to work on reducing stress in your daily life. So mine was coming from the horizon and over the cube and everything. It would completely encompass the entire field and then ran over the back of my head here. So the storm intensity was strong in the eye of the storm.
Wow.
But also right above and in the background. I pictured it everywhere, right?
I think that just might mean you may have an aneurysm.
I might be incredibly stressed, too. When you stress, so intensity, it was strong, right? When you stress, you go all in and have a hard time pulling yourself out again. That is actually very accurate. What was was yours a mild storm or a strong storm?
Remember, my storm had, it's in the distance, like it passed over us already.
So it's kind of mild.
Yeah, I guess.
In comparison, while you aren't immune to stress, you know that all things must pass. This is another one where I think they mixed the two of us up. Then the storm location. Yours was in the background, and you said it was kind of in the distance.
Yeah.
Any obstacles that might be causing you grief are not at the forefront of your mind. You are good at managing your anxiety. Now, mine did go in the back. It started there, right? My obstacles aren't causing me grief, and then it went right above my cube and over my head. So I am deeply affected by stress and have a hard time seeing past it to get back to the bigger picture.
And it's just so interesting that your storm is right above your cube, where your horse is also very far from your cube. Could it be that your wife is causing you some stress?
In my field that I've created, the horse is creating the storm. The horse is farting a storm out of its ass.
The horse is nagging.
Yeah. In my field, the horse is going, can you do this? Can you do that? In my field, I've just woken up from a nap, and the horse is immediately, today we have to get groceries. Don't forget, it's laundry day today. First thing in the morning. That's my horse. So, who are you? This test is my modified version of an older personality test and is a little bit more in-depth. Some versions have you imagine a desert rather than the field. Others see the flowers as your children. So it's all arbitrary. None of it means anything. While this test is more fun than anything else, it should still help you understand a little more about yourself. Some answers may be more unique than what the interpretations here provide for. In this case, you can try your best to find the closest approximation, or you could do a little interpreting of your own. See, just as we thought, make it up on your own. Make it up for yourself. It means nothing. This test is pointless. It means absolutely nothing, but it was fun to kind of envision fields there, and horses, and cubes, and poop.
And have them be allegories for your wife and your husband.
It was nice to have that horse nagging me constantly. And it was a little fun to fuck the horse, too.
It was really weird. Your horse also, I noticed, was wearing a yarmulke.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does it say about that?
Yeah. And I've also already stated that it controlled the weather, too. So it all fits together, huh? This is my favorite comment on this. Not bad. Oh, this is another one. I like this guy right here. This guy commented on September 1st, 2020. He said, I only did it because my girlfriend made me.
Yeah, that guy.
Isn't that every personality test online? I only did it because my girlfriend said this would be fun.
Yeah, that guy's storm was also coincidentally right over his horse.
My storm was a tornado, and it picked the horse up.
And it put them in another field.
Yeah, put them in a camp.
Put them in a cage.
Well, what did you learn today?
I learned that my mind is like a Studio Ghibli film.
Yeah, they didn't really let us know what happens if you're thinking of Totoro. We should probably comment on this and be like, hey, excuse me, I just need to know, what does it mean if I'm thinking of Totoro?
I saw unfinished sculptures and my neighbor Totoro in my field.
Yeah, I kept thinking of My Neighbor Totoro. Does that mean I'm gay? Dear Romeo Antolin, am I gay?
Dear Romeo Antolin, I took your stupid test and I can't even tell if I'm gay.
Dear Romeo Antolin, I took your damn test and the horse wouldn't die. Goddamn horse was alive longer than I was. And the horse kept eating my box. You just have weird problems. I took your stupid test. My ladder keeps falling over. And my box is made of poop. What does that mean?
Dear Romeo Antolin, I don't understand why my field had this really terrible odor. I kept smelling it. And
my field smells like cheese. Am I poor? Does that mean I'm poor?
Actually, I'm surprised I didn't say that my field had a smell because knowing me, I that would be the first thing I point out.
Smells like cheese.
Because every night I point out to Josh, something stinks.
Yeah, yeah. Every single night she goes.
I'm telling you, if people
something smells.
If people in the building across the street from us fart, I can smell it. I got the scent of a bloodhound.
Yeah, those are definitely the people across the street. Look, I learned that you don't fuck with the Grinch, okay? Be nice to the Grinch, folks. It's the holiday season.
I got a question.
What?
Where was the Grinch in your field?
The Grinch was living on top of Mount Crumpet where he belongs.
Minding his own damn business, so be nice.
Be nice. Folks, it's the holiday season. Be nice to the Grinch out there. Be nice to the Grinches in your life, even if they're horses in your field. Always treat your field nice, and I hope that you all have ladders that are erect and throbbing and dripping with goo.
And may your cubes be filled with gold coins and beautiful wishes.
If you're celebrating Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you're celebrating Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. Have a great one. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.